Let's go to the Big Ten. And the Big Ten is obviously a new-look conference, much like it feels like pretty much every other conference in college football this year. The Big Ten is one of those conferences where we think we know a lot, because look at the odds in Vegas. Ohio State has the best odds to win the conference at plus 155. Oregon is second at plus 200. The third best odds to win the conference is plus 500 for Penn State. We think we know a lot about this conference. I'm just here to tell you, that is dangerous. Because if we know anything about college football, it is that expect the unexpected. And when you think you have it all figured out, that's exactly when college football says, come on, I thought you knew me better than that. And the Big Ten may end up doing that because I think when you walk through the other teams in this conference outside of the Ohio States and the Oregons, there's several variables to where if I gave you a answer to those variables in a way that it benefited those specific teams, they immediately become a contender for the conference title. If you're a college football junkie, doesn't matter who you support. Oregon fans, Michigan fans, Ohio State fans, Penn State fans, Nebraska fans, whoever you love to support. I promise you, we will talk about them on this channel, and we will cover college football the way that you want it covered. So make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel, baby. This show, The Hard Count, is live 3 times a week, but we got content for you every single day. So subscribe to this channel. Also, make sure you're following me on the social channels at JD Pickell on Twitter and on Instagram. Not that they aren't already, but to kind of make more sense of this, like if I told you Michigan, they're going to get elite quarterback play. Whether it's Davis Warren, Alex Orji, Jack Tuttle. Yes, Jack Tuttle. Now keep an eye on him. 7th-year senior. What do we say about Michigan? At that point, are we like, yeah, I mean, shoot, they might just run it back then and go have a chance to compete for the national championship. Forget the Big Ten. They're going to run the football. They're going to play great defense. Those two things are solid. One variable changes the entire game when you talk about Michigan. Penn State, third best odds to win the conference. New OC and Coach Colton-Necky, Coach K. What if they get some explosivity on offense? The defense is going to be great. I mean, Abdul Carter's an absolute man-child, hunting quarterbacks on the defensive side of the ball for Penn State. You have one of the best backfields in college football in Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. A lot of people talking down on Drew Aller's name. Are we sure he's the problem? Are we sure that maybe they just didn't have the offensive structure and scheme in place to be successful last year? Penn State could absolutely make a run at this thing if you told me they're going to be more explosive offensively. To the same token, USC, we're kind of going down the list here, though, but I think it's fair to say USC, if they get a defense, what do we say about Lincoln Riley? I mean, are we not giving him the benefit of the doubt that he's going to have a good quarterback and a good offense, at the very least, to be competitive? Like, that one variable changes the entire complexion of the Big Ten. In my mind, Iowa, if they get an offense, same thing. Nebraska, if they win close games, same thing. Wisconsin, Luke Fickell can kind of get that to be a Luke Fickell team his second year out there, and that Phil Longo offense figures it out. Again, we're talking through a lot of hypotheticals and a lot of ifs, but I don't think that you're going much further than like one variable swinging in one of those teams' directions to put them into contention to compete for a conference title game. So while I think that's true, I also think that they have skyscrapers in Las Vegas for a reason. And Las Vegas, man, it's a city out there in the middle of nowhere in the desert, and they built massive skyscrapers. The reason why? They're right a lot. They're right a lot. And so I think you do actually get Ohio State and Oregon, as boring as it may seem as we sit here in August. I keep having to say August instead of July. As we sit here in August, it is what it is. I think those are the two best rosters in college football in that conference, if not top 4, top 3 in college football. At the end of the day, we might see this matchup between Ohio State and Oregon. I mean, we could see it 3 times in the college football playoff. We'll see. From the regular season to the Big Ten title game to that third time being in the college football playoff. Whoever wins this game, I think, will be the more physical outfit when it comes to the Big Ten championship. I think depth will play a massive factor. There might be some names on both those rosters that we're not talking about right now that end up being massive for them come that game first week of December. I think it's Oregon for 2 reasons. I think they have 2 edges that will allow them to win the Big Ten. The first is I think that if you're picking a question mark on Ohio State, and question mark's even a harsh term to use, if you're picking an area of their team that you're not 100% sure about, it's the offensive line. Oregon's defensive line is going to be really, really good. They've got depth. They've got dudes in that starting lineup from Mateo Uyunglele to Jordan Birch to Derek Harmon, the Michigan State transfer, who's like 6'5", 300 some odd pounds. Like, they got some dudes and some sides up there to go with that depth. And then I think the quarterback play too, I would give the edge to Dylan Gabriel in that game. So is that the case going forward for both of these teams if they find themselves playing in the college football playoff? We'll see. I could also see, honestly, Ohio State beating Oregon in Autzen and then Oregon beating them in the Big Ten championship. But regardless, we're gonna trust our gut here. I think Oregon wins the Big Ten, and I think we see Ohio State and Oregon play at least 2 times heading into that Big Ten championship game. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.